painting videos. We're going to do a painting video right now. We're going to paint up our knight and get him all decked out just like this. We just finished carving this guy, and yeah, it's the Fellowship of the Gnome series, folks. We're doing a whole series of gnomes. Gnomes! We're doing gnomes. So we're going to paint this guy, get him looking like our other fellas, and then, yeah, that's what we're doing. So let's flip the camera around and we'll jump right into it. Painting time, painting time. Everybody's ready for painting time. Okay, we are going to paint the knight that we talked about in the last video we carved. We just finished him up. We're going to go ahead and paint this guy up. I'm going to be using today regular cheap acrylic paintbrushes. These are acrylic paintbrushes that you get from Walmart, Hobby Lobby, whatever the cheapest place around is. They are just brushes, nothing special about them whatsoever. And I don't really use special brushes. I got a little eyedropper in case I need to move some water around, a cup of warm water, and a painting tray. And I'm going to be using a lot of grays and browns and whites on this guy because he's a knight. I think that we're going to paint, well, the haft here is going to be brown. We're going to do a gray, or let me look here. I have got this medium gray available for our choices. I have also got two different styles of this here. I got a sterling silver extra sheen from DecoArt, and I've got a gunmetal gray. It also is supposed to have a bit of a sheen to it as well. So we're going to see how these look, because I haven't used either one of these, I don't believe. Yeah, looks like brand new bottles that haven't been used yet. So we're going to try both these out. We're going to see whether or not we like them. We've also got some black, white, and brown. I got an apple barrel black. I've got folk art white, and some burnt umber brown there. When it comes to painting types, apple barrel is a little more watered down. You can hear it moving in there. Folk arts is thicker. You might be able to hear that. It's harder to move, a bit more viscous. So you can water it down much more and you get more bang for your buck this way. But like at $1.50 a piece for a bottle, I'm not worried about which brand I use because they pretty much work the same. And for $1, they last a long time. I've been using this one for more than a year and I haven't gotten through it. So at $1, what versus like $1.50 or $2 for the folk art, it's not a big difference to me over the course of a year. I'm probably getting more bang for my buck out of the more expensive ones, but again, $1, and I've been using it for a year. It's that goes pretty far. I'm not too worried about that. So that's where we're at. Alrighty, let's go ahead and fill up a little bit of black in the paint tray, and let's get out a couple colors all at once. Now look at that. I'm not sure what I'm going to use white on. I just always get out white, but I don't know what I'm going to use the white on. Now this umber always comes out like mud when it comes out and makes fart noises every time. And every time I want to make a fart joke, and I'm abstaining right now from making the fart joke. So you're welcome. Okay? Don't judge me for making a fart joke. Don't judge me for not making a fart joke. That's silver. Sterling silver. That's a really nice color. I think I need to stir it up a bit more, but that could be neat. That could be neat. Let's see what this gunmetal gray looks like. Ooh, that's got a nice sheen to it. I like that. So yeah, that gunmetal gray. It's folk art metallic gunmetal gray. And then we got that folk art matte medium gray. I'm not making the joke. I'm not. I'm just giggling like a school child. Don't judge me. Okay, so what color do we want to do? I think with the axe haft, we're going to do that black. Because I think that, not the axe haft, the axe itself. I think we're going to do a blackened axe. I think so. So, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? How do I want to start on this guy? Where do I want to start? You know what? Let's start. Oh, let's start doing just a gray wash. I'll get a bigger paintbrush out, and let's try to do this chest piece here in a dark gray. Well, gosh darn it, Johnny. Let's do. Yeah, we're gonna do this chest piece here in a dark gray, and this part here like it's chainmail kind of. Okay, so we do that gray, like chainmail. Let's start with that. So I'm going to use gray paint and a little bit of water. And a lot of times I do this right on the carving itself. This is how I paint. I mix the paint colors on the carving itself. And I don't see a problem with doing that. Someone said in a video recently on the comments, they said that you're seeing that meme where someone puts every block into the same hole, and the person watching it is like freaking out. They're like, no, 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 put the circle block in the circle hole. And he puts it, circle block goes into the square hole, and the triangle block goes into the square hole. He said watching me paint was like watching that video. And I giggled for about 10 minutes. Yeah, I get it. I'm not the best painter in the world. I'm definitely not. I do the painting videos because some people want to see how I did it, how I got to what I did. Because so many people aren't at the level that I'm at. The level that I'm at is not, I am not that high on a level here, right? I'm not a great painter. I paint because like I started painting and learning how to paint well, trying to learn how to paint well, I should say, because I wanted my carvings to look better than they did. I think that's kind of how we all get started in it, you know. And yeah, I am acceptable now to my own standards for where my carvings are at. I like the way they look, and so I'm fine with my painting skills where they're at, I should say. I mean, of course I want to improve. Everybody wants to improve, but I'm not actively watching YouTube videos on the subject. Like I was watching miniature painters that paint like little D&D miniatures and stuff like that, and I was watching model painters, and I was watching craft painters and just acrylic arts painters, and everything I could. I was trying to make sense of things, like how to make like concepts like dry brushing stick in my brain, and blending. And the way that I do blending is probably not the best, but it works for me, and I enjoy it. So there's that. Yeah, that's looking all right. A bit more gray, and we'll do this bottom half here. I'll throw this out there too. If you like this kind of video, you like this content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If everyone that watched the painting video liked the video, this video would do a lot better. And I would really appreciate it. The painting videos do not do very well on the channel. They're mostly there for me. I see a point at some point in the future where if I get too busy, I might stop doing the painting videos. I know that's sad to say, because I don't think I need one for every single carving I do. I think that there's enough out there people get the gist of painting, and that this is then just a waste of time, so to speak, for some of it. So I think the painting videos will go away at some point. For right now, I still find value in them, and so they're still here. So like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you would, and that will definitely help me out, help the channel to grow. If you're really feeling froggy, share the channel with somebody that you know that you want to get into carving. Tell them, hey, watch this guy. I appreciate that too, because yeah, I'm trying to reach as many people as I possibly can because I want carving to be a more accessible hobby. I kind of made it my personal mission to try to help that along. Okay, that's looking pretty good for where we wanted to paint our initial gray. And I'm wondering whether or not the different color grays that I've got here are going to look good on this. So we're going to try this. This is going to be an experiment. We're going to see how this works, because I've got this gunmetal color. And that's pretty dark. That's a lot darker than I thought it'd be. Let's try this first on the axe. Oh, wow. Look at that. That is dark. I don't mind that color on the axe. I'm not sure I want it on the rest of him or not. I was thinking about doing the axe black anyway, and that is like a black color. That's not I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a gunmetal gray. I don't think it's a gray at all. It looks like a black, a shiny kind of black. Yeah, it's definitely darker than I thought it'd be. I like the look on the axe, though. I definitely like the look on the axe. I'm going to switch up to a detail brush to get into some of these tight spots. You can use the bigger brushes to do this kind of thing, but I wind up making a mess if I do that. Also, when it comes to this stuff, I find that taking the time to do it delicately, even on a simple little carving like this, it looks so much better if you don't rush it. Don't rush the process. Take your time and get it done the best you can, and it's going to look a whole lot better by the time you're done. Okay, there we go. So what are we thinking? Do we want to do, this half brown? I'm now wondering whether I want to do the rest of them kind of gray. I don't like doing everything gray, though, is my issue. Do I have other colors of gray? I don't have a lot of variety of gray. I used to have a lighter gray that I don't have anymore. So let's do a little bit of a mixture here. Let's take some white. Like so. And take a little bit of this regular gray. More fart jokes. Okay, and then we'll take a slightly thicker paintbrush and a little bit of water. Not a lot of water, just a little bit to assist in the mixing. I'm just going to mix it up in this paint tray here, the white and the gray. And we're going to see what color or consistency that comes out at and see if we need to adjust. Do we need to add more? Do we need to add less? All right, now I can tell you right now, I think it's too white. It's a very light gray. Yeah, that's a very light gray. So let's add a little bit more gray to that. Just a drop. It's a bit darker. Let's get a little bit darker. Is that too light? You know, I don't think that it really will be. I think that's going to be just fine. Yep, I do. I do. I think we'll wind up doing a little bit of dry brushing across this guy too. We're going to go with this lighter colored gray that we just made. Okay, that was about 3 drops of dark gray, 1 drop of white, and then I mixed it with a couple drops of water. So that's about what I did there. And that created this lighter colored gray, because I don't have a gray this color right now. I know that's shocking when you look back at the paints I have sitting back here. You're like, what? You don't? Because like this is going to be chainmail. And the chainmail is going to have interlocking little piece of metal. And there should be more shadows there. So it should be a little bit darker than a sheet metal like this helmet is. And like these shoulder pauldrons are going to be. So I do want to have there be a delineation, a difference between these colors as we do this. get on the axe, Johnny. I should have painted those separate sections of the arms. I think that's going to be chainmail as well. I'm going to do these regular gauntlets. I like that color for those as well. Yep. I do like these painting videos for this because people look at this and they think I just knew exactly what I was doing from the start, and that's not the case. I don't know what I'm doing from the start. I kind of figure it out as I go, and I learn as I go, and I like that other people on the channel are seeing that in these painting videos, that I'm not just knowing exactly what to do, that I stumble, that I am uncertain about things until I figure it out. It gives people more confidence then, I think, whenever they're uncertain and they're like, wow, Johnny doesn't know what he's doing either. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. I don't know what I'm doing either. We are in the same boat, my friend. I am figuring it out as I go, learning as I go. We're all just learning. It's like anything in life. This is a journey. Journey to learn all the fun little things you want to learn. That's looking pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, let's do the darker gray now for the other parts of the arms. And I may need to use this detail brush maybe. We'll see how this goes. I am not using any water now because this is too tight of an area. To do that in easily. So, no water. There we go. That's not looking bad at all. Ooh, I forgot a little bit of dark, a little bit of light gray in the back of that. I'll have to come back in and fix that. That's why you don't put your paints away till you're done, folks. That's why you don't put your paints away till you're done. For those of you who are watching, this week I've got the first video I'm doing to showcase some of the wood carving illustrated stuff. I'm doing a giveaway on Wednesday. Shh, don't tell anyone. It's kind of special news for those who are watching the painting video. I'm doing a giveaway on Wednesday for a Sarah Bearclaw collection of books. And I'm going to do a little video on one of the carvings from the books. And I'm going to talk about the books because really, when you're learning to carve, there are so many things you can learn from a tutorial and so many more things you can learn from a book. A lot of folks say I don't learn well from a book. And that is correct. I get it. Why? Because learning from a book is hard. Because it requires you to make logical leaps from one step to step 2 or step 3 to step 4. And that's difficult. So people say, oh, I can't learn well from books, and they stop. That is, hear me on this, okay? That's the point. That is absolutely the point. Forcing you to make those logical leaps from one step to the next forces you to learn those skills you need to be able to do carvings on your own without a guide. So those areas where it seems like you got to make a leap from one thing to the other, that is difficult, I think, in a beneficial way. And I hope that you get a hold of that, because books are an extremely valuable resource when learning to carve, and more people should be investing their time in getting a few books that can really help them. There's a lot of folks out there, like Sarah Bearclaw, the Clever Carver, who are just absolutely fantastic at carving and quite skilled at teaching too, but maybe they're not good at video editing. Maybe they're not good at showcasing themselves online. Maybe they don't want to do that, right? Not everybody likes to do this kind of thing that I'm doing right now, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But how do you learn from someone who's not able or willing or has the opportunity to do this thing that I'm doing. Those books they're doing, those are fantastic resources, and passing up on them, oh, it's terrible. And we're back. Okay, he's dry to the touch now. Got all that done. We're going to worry about painting the brown on the haft here. And this is thick, thick paint. Okay. Like I was saying though, books. Get books. Learn from books. Force yourself to figure out those logical steps. Force yourself to study them, because then you can learn from people like Charles Banks, who has an absolutely fantastic book. You can learn from people like Alec Lacasse if you're wanting to do more realistic stuff. And you can learn from so many more people in ways that you wouldn't be able to before. Like Alec Lacasse, he's got a YouTube channel. You can learn things on there, but he's not teaching everything on there. He keeps some things behind a paywall with his fundamentals of wood carving class, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I get that. He's got a lifetime of experience, and if you want to learn all the things he's got to teach, he's putting that behind a paywall because he's trying to make a living out of this. Of course, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But if you're not wanting to do the collage, you want to do something a little bit more, a little bit less expensive, that book is an excellent way to go too. The Charles Banks book is a tome of knowledge as well. I mean, it is just jam-packed, full of information. I highly suggest that one. If you enjoy flat plane, take a look at it. It's really neat. The Sarah Barraclough collection we're going to give away on Wednesday too. That one of them in there, and I'll show you that on Wednesday when we go over the books, is really, it's got a lot of information into a lot of projects. There's one of them that's smaller. It doesn't have very much in it at all, but it's got a couple of fun projects, but it's pretty thin. It's a lot cheaper. The more expensive book is thick, and I mean thick. And that's one of the things you don't realize about book when looking to buy it online. You don't realize exactly like that. They'll tell you the page numbers on there, but you can't visualize that easy. I'm going to flip through the book and show you a little bit about it, and you're really like, holy cow, that thing is like an encyclopedia. It's thick, it's big, and it's beefy. You're getting a lot in there. And the stuff that Sarah talks about in that book, oh my gosh, it's really neat. It's fun to just read the stuff because she's a paraprofessional with a psychology degree working in Utah. So she's got a little background in education, and I feel like it really comes out in the stuff that she's teaching and going over, that education background, which is absolutely fantastic. My wife is actually a paraprofessional too, and so I also like that connection because I think it takes a certain type of person to work in that field, in that background. And I feel like I got a little bit of a connection with Sarah in that because I know just a little bit, like, that, what she's going through in that field, and the compassion and the empathy that she has to have to be able to be successful in that job. And people like that are just absolutely wonderful. Okay, so I'm rambling a little bit now. Still just going to town on this guy, putting that dark brown on the haft and just continuing that belt around. I like that. And I think that we're going to do a little bit of dry brushing on him as well, in various spots, in various ways. I'm trying to think what color we're going to do for the bottom half of this guy. I'm not entirely certain. We could add a pop of color, like it's an undercoat, So we could add a pop of color to him if we wanted to. Now, if you notice, there's some little spots in here that don't quite have paint on, like right there and right there, And you can absolutely take your brush and fix those up. I don't usually worry about them too much because I'm going to put him in an antiquing solution when I'm done. And the antiquing solution on this channel is a little thing called turd polish. Right? There's a little video called Turd Polish. You can see the antiquing solution that I use. And it's really nice. I love it. But it soaks into every crevice and will help you fill up all of those little things easily. So I don't worry too much about tiny little corners because they're going to disappear. Just disappear in that process, you know? So that's actually looking really nice. I mean, we kind of winged that, but yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So what do we want to do for that bottom? What do we want to do for that bottom color down here? Do we want to go with a dark gray? I don't think the metallic would work. We haven't even used that silver yet. But I don't see a spot to... We could do this little thing there, that silver. That would actually be really neat. I like that. Ooh, we're doing that. We're doing that. We're absolutely doing that. Okay. So let's stir that silver up. Wipe a little bit off there. I got a lot of it on there. All righty. This is a great idea. I love this idea. And... oh, there's barely a difference. You can't even tell. I don't know. Can you tell? There's barely a difference in that at all. I don't know. I like it that it's a little different. Just a little bit. Just barely. Yeah. You know what? Would we want to just put a little bit of silver in the bottom of this haft, maybe? Do you want to do that? Like the bottom is capped with some other color. I should have done that before I painted it brown, probably. So let's do this here. This is the cheating way. It's definitely cheating, but I don't mind. So if you do that, just wipe the paint off your blade. Okay, so for those of you who didn't know that trick, now you know. And no one else will ever know. They'll never know. Oh, that's not working out either because apparently having that gray underneath it is a thing. So let's just go ahead and paint this darker gray down there. And I do like that darker gray for the bottom of the axe shaft. I like that. I think that, yeah, I think that's turning out pretty well. I do like that. There's a little bit of a difference in that. That's a good difference. I enjoy that. Okay. So we didn't use a solid black. Let's use a solid black for this section right there. Let's go ahead and get our little eyedropper out. Put some water there and take a little bit of that black there. And you can see I'm just kind of using this eyedropper to mix up that little bit of black that we had that I pulled out of the black there to make our own little mixture there, right? And then that's a good brush. Make sure nothing in it. Turn that. We don't have a lot to worry about here, so I don't mind using one that's very watered down because it doesn't have anywhere to leak to. You follow? That gives us a close look to everything else. Not too far off in shade. But you can still see the wood underneath it. And we're not making a crazy mess. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay. So next I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to antique him and you'll see him back again So I'm going to hair dry him first to dry him up, antique him, and I'll bring him back and we'll show you what he looks like in 3, 2, 1. Well, you know what? I don't think I want to antique him just yet. I didn't do any dry brushing. I did talk about doing some dry brushing. So I'm looking at this. How am I going to dry brush him? What am I going to dry brush him with? I've got one color of light gray right there. And I could dry brush him with the metallic black. See how that looks. I don't know about that. So when dry brushing, I'm going to take that paint in the paintbrush. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe it off on a towel, like so, pushing it into the bristles until barely anything comes off. And then I'm going to lightly brush it across, like so. Just a weathering effect, kind of. Oh, that's too much. Too much again. And a weathering effect in that lighter gray. I kind of like that. Same for the darker gray. Yeah. A bit of a weathered look to him. He's looking... Yeah, that's a fantastic look. I think that... There it is. I think that's actually absolutely fantastic. He looks dirtier right now. Wait till after we antique him a little bit. He's going to look a little bit nicer. But I like that weathered look. Some folks don't like the dry brushing. I get it. If you don't like that, don't do it. If you do like it, and I do, that's an option for you. Okay. Now I'm going to dry him up and then antique him, and I'll bring him back and show him to you. And there he is, all antiqued up. And that antiquing solution really gets into every nook and cranny. It mutes and just brings out colors and shades. And I really love the effect. And that is our knights all finished up. And that's all I got for you today, folks. We've got our gnomes all painted up and all finished, and they turned out fantastic. Thank you so much for sticking around to this point in the video. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching the video, for commenting, for liking, for sharing, and for all of that. If you want to get yourself some nice shirts, I got those available on the website. If you want to get some fancy carving stickers, I got those over on Etsy, and they'll be switching to the website again soon because the ones I got on Etsy are going to go away. Those designs are kind of old. We're going to do some new designs on the website real soon, probably February 22nd or after that date. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, that's going to happen. You don't have to do that. This is just a way to support the channel if you want to, because cameras and lighting equipment, all this costs money. And I keep trying to increase the quality of the content that I'm making. And if you watch the videos over the past, like since June of last year when I started this whole thing, you can see there's definitely been a quality improvement over time as I've done this. And yeah, it's a concerted effort, and I'm going to keep doing it because I'm having a lot of fun. And that's thanks to all of you and your comments and your likes and your shares and all that stuff. And I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Outside of that, head over to Instagram, give me a like and a follow over there. I'll see you next time. Thanks, folks.